Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗼𝗚𝘀𝑆 channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me now is Shekhar Iyer ji, and we are going to give you the inside story on why India insisted on bringing parity in terms of the strength in the embassies between India and Canada. The real reason for that, also rumblings in Madhya Pradesh, some settlements in Rajasthan perhaps, rehabilitation for Vasundhara Raje and her group. All this and more as Shekhar Iyer ji will give us in his own no-nonsense style of news and information. But before all that, please like this video and also subscribe to our channel. So let's welcome Shekhar Iyer ji. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to 𝗼𝗚𝘀𝑆 channel.
Namaskar, Shekhar ji, namaskar. Nice to be back.
Shekhar ji, first off, the real reason why India insisted on getting parity, because now they are saying, the Canadians are saying that there will be no in-person service in three consulates, Bengaluru, Mumbai and Chandigarh. This is what they're saying, because 41 of our diplomats have to leave India. So there is a little bit of inconvenience for the people who are seeking services. But more importantly, what was the real reason, sir?
Well, India has not minced words. In fact, conveying to the Canadians that, look, some of the diplomats, those who have, all these people who were posted in Punjab, those who were posted in Chandigarh and who used to frequently travel to Punjab, and they were actually interacting with local political leaders and in the name of trying to understand the political situation, they were actually gathering a lot of intelligence as to how the political parties are operating. And somehow their conduct was seen as not in consonance with their diplomatic status. Yes, diplomats in India, foreign diplomats, they do interact with political leaders. Some of the ambassadors go and meet, particularly before the elections. They would like to understand the situation so that they can report to their home government. But in what has been happening in Punjab, particularly, during the height of the farmers' agitation, and subsequently when assembly elections were held, uh, what was found was these diplomats were not just doing rather a routine diplomatic work of trying to understand the Punjab political situation. Rather, their interactions with some selected leaders had raised eyebrows. And since the some of the Canadian citizens who happen to be Sikhs have shown a lot of interest in Punjab politics. They were even sending contributions, donations, and the way these people were also coordinating, these Canadian diplomats, questions were beginning to be asked, and India had conveyed earlier, look, some conduct of some of your diplomats is very very political, and it tantamount to political interference. But it was routinely dismissed by the Canadian authorities. But with this latest development, India made it very look, let's have parity. If we have got, uh, you know, 41, I mean, whatever is our strength in Canada, we have got 41 diplomats. So similarly, you can also withdraw those people. We have got 21, so you also, you know, withdraw it to the same number. Let's have parity. Of course, now, Canada says it has got three consulates, it has got five trade officers, and then various provinces of Canada have their own offices to promote trade, and with all this adds up to this big number. Well, those diplomats who are seen to be not acting in conformity with their status as diplomats, well, this is a message to them. And of course, Prime Minister Trudeau has reacted very strongly, saying India has violated Vienna Convention, dealing with how the diplomats should be treated and things like that. Of course, for which the Ministry of External Affairs has made it very clear, saying that we have only sought parity. Nobody has been ill-treated or subject to any kind of thing. We gave you advance notice, we set you a deadline, and we have asked you to go. But the real reason what is coming out is that some of these diplomats were actually involved in local politics. Now, this is a serious charge. I mean, imagine if it were American diplomats or British diplomats or French diplomats, engaging in the politics. Of course, in bygone era, we had when we had Soviet Union. The Russian diplomats were very active in Delhi, interacting with left leaders. Those have been further documented when KGB documents were declassified. Similarly, there has been activity by CIA operatives then. But in this new period, I mean, new era, and particularly the politics concerning Punjab has revolved around farmers, farmers' agitation, then militancy, Sikh militancy, Khalistan, the trying to revive the demand for Khalistan without any impact in Punjab, but a lot of sound and fury in Canada, and particularly with this kind of threats call coming out from there, and then these diplomats were seem to be facilitating visits by those leaders to Punjab. So all that were documented, and it was the attention of Ottawa was drawn to all these things, but uh, Canada seemed to dismiss it. But now I think the message has gone home, and ME has made it very clear. Look, there is no all this talk of Vienna Convention being violated is all humbug. What we have asked is only, and in a way, making it very clear that when Canada had expelled one of India's diplomats, who Canada said was involved in external intelligence operations. India, in turn, also expelled one of the Canadian intelligence officers posted in Delhi. Now, with this seeking parity, well, a similar parity was sought with Pakistan in 1994, if you recall, sir. That was the time when the Pakistani establishment in Delhi, diplomatic establishment, was seen as actually an operation of their inter-services intelligence, and trying to try to engaging in more of espionage activity than diplomacy. So that was the time when India also insisted on Pakistan to have parity. So, and that is how they conveyed the message: look, you have to reduce this your strength. So that is what has happened in Canada case. But there are very very specific charges. I'm told these charges have been documented, and they have been Canada has been politely told, look, this is what your diplomats have been doing. Shayevji.
Thank you so much, Shekharji. And the one lingering question for me, Shekharji, is recently Canada returned back 700 Indian students studying in Canadian universities. They said that the entire process was fake, that they got fake admission letters, that they got fake paperwork from the Canadian government. But if they had so many extra people, and most of them appeared, these students have come from Punjab. If they had so many extra people, how come they did not catch this? I don't know what you've heard about this particular instance. 700 students, see, they have paid money, big bucks to get into Canada. They're all being asked to come back to India.
And that is why they after asking them to leave, then that decision was put on the hold, because it is also the responsibility of Canada, which has been issuing visas, to see whether these students have been admitted to genuine universities, whether these are fake ones, or are they registered ones, or are they accredited to the higher education authority in Canada. Those things should have been done, and that is why I think that decision was rather put on hold, and a promise was made that somehow a way would be found how the students could get admitted to a properly recognized one. But you are right. You see, these diplomats seem to have been more busy with political activity in Punjab, and obviously catering to the political constituency of the ruling dispensation in Canada. That is very clear. Otherwise, why would Canadian diplomats be bothered about Punjab politics, about the rise of Aam Aadmi Party, and then trying to meet people who are seen as very, very sympathetic to the cause of Khalistan? Though they may be all paper tigers or just scholarly people, but the very fact that diplomats' activity was seen as not in keeping with the status as diplomats. Because we have a precedent, as I mentioned, in 1994, when Pakistan embassy was always under surveillance and was suspected to be, trying to either create, trying to set up a surveillance network in India, or trying to encourage people to spy for them. That's the time India said, look, A lot of your people are exceeding the brief which they have to be posted in India. So the same thing has happened. I mean, what is surprising is Canada should have allowed itself to uh, to to come to a status that of Pakistan. I mean, that's the most because of internal politics in Canada. I mean, if the last time some country has been told to bring about parity in diplomatic presence, that was Pakistan, 1994. Now Canada has come to that status, and because of the activity of the people who are supposed to be diplomats.
Shekharji, one other interesting thing I wanted to tell our friends, some of you are putting all your, hard-earned life savings into the education of your children, thinking that education abroad will bring them a better future. All that is good, but please do your homework before you send your children abroad. Remember that 99% of the United States schools that I know of require you to take two tests. One is called GRE, Graduate Record Exam. This is for engineering, and GMAT for management. And you also need to do test of English as a foreign language, TOEFL. You need to do these things. Maybe now there is some relaxation, but first make sure that the university that you've got admission from is actually a legitimate university, recognized. I'll tell you one thing that happened 2-3 years ago, just before COVID, Shekharji. There was in Silicon Valley a university called Tri-Valley University. There was no university. It was a joke. And people had come, especially from Andhra Pradesh, 300, 400 students. Everybody got admitted. And then when they come there is no university. I mean, there was something, there was a building, there were some people, it was a joke. The entire lot, the US Immigration and Naturalization Service caught it. Entire lot was sent back, but the money was spent. One guy was crying, saying that my entire parents' savings are wiped out. But then, how can people shortcut the process? Everybody needs to understand some basic requirements. In US, at least, you cannot get admission unless you qualify for it. And as to how they got visas in US consulates, that's another amazing thing. How did the United States consulate not check and see if this is a legitimate university? It sounded very professional, Tri-Valley University. So there are all these things. So what happens is one bad apple means everybody starts getting tarred the same way. So there is some caution to be used. So please double check these things, and don't ask me, is this a valid? I have no idea. I have not been tracking universities. There are things like university rankings that many organizations put out. You have to do some homework. You have to be sure that it is right. You can even call that place and ask them for information. It's a toll-free call, so that you know that this is something legitimate. You can ask them, what is your graduation rate? Where did your students get jobs? These are all legitimate questions. I'm just giving you some caution. Now let's go on to the next thing, Shekharji. Dot alliance fracture. Akhilesh Yadav is jumping up and down. What is happening, sir?
Well, sir, he like Pandavas only wanted 6 seats in Madhya Pradesh,
Hmm.
only 6 assembly seats.
Hmm.
Like Pandavas wanted only a few number of villages.
Right.
They didn't want the kingdom. He went back. Here, Akhilesh Yadav's party was negotiating with Congress. So they were told, okay, we'll give you 6 seats, though we don't think that you have a big presence in, because some of the districts close to Uttar Pradesh border, there is a presence of Samajwadi unit, whatever. They said, okay, we'll give you 6 seats. But when the list of 144 names were released, there was all those seats that Samajwadi said should be earmarked for us, and all those places the Congress announced candidates. That upset the Samajwadi Party leaders of Madhya Pradesh, who contacted Akhilesh and said, look, we had discussions. We met their state leaders. We were told that those places that we had sought, where we feel the Samajwadi Party has a presence, as a network, and those would be allotted to us. But when the list came, all those seats have been Congress had named. This upset Akhilesh Yadav, and Akhilesh Yadav said, "What is this? Is this what? I mean, you are saying you want to align with us with the state assembly. Also, you want us to give you some make some seat adjustment for the national parliamentary elections. But when it comes to your own state where you are a dominating a player or a partner, you are not willing to accommodate us." Now, when Akhilesh Yadav said this, Kamalnath in turn, Kamalnath was asked by reporters, you see, Akhilesh Yadav is saying this. And Kamalnath in his style, he says, today is in a mood, किसी का कुर्ता फाड़ दो types. So he said, virtually saying, yeah, Akhilesh, sab chodo. I mean, basically telling reporters, I don't give a damn for Akhilesh. That's why he said, Akhilesh, Vakhilesh. ये सब बात छोड़ो. I mean, not going to respond. He says the elections, जो India alliance है, opposition alliance, that's only for the national elections. So that has upset Akhilesh. So Akhilesh again retorted by saying, look, today Congress is talking of OBC census. What was it doing when it was in power? Did they ever release figures for OBC census? I mean, even they were not willing to announce it in the earlier census. Now they are saying OBC, OBC. And he went on further. He said, Congress is seeking votes of OBC votes, the votes which they don't have, they never had. I mean, saying that, look, you are bringing this caste census only for seeking votes. Now, this is exactly charge that the BJP has made, or Congress, Rahul Gandhi. You are trying to place this caste census card that if we come, we will do caste census. Now, this has been. See, sir, one thing is coming clear, which I want to point out. Moment Congress is asserting itself and coming with ideas to get OBC votes, the parties which are dependent on OBC votes, like say Samajwadi Party, they immediately react. They say, look, why should Congress come into our turf? Our party is only all about OBCs and Muslims. Why is Congress trying to come look for votes which it doesn't have now? Because we are supposed to have alliance on the basis of strength. Basically saying, why are you snatching it away from me?
Sir, this is the master stroke of the Modi government, sir. Modi and Amit Shah, sir. They gave an easy victory to Congress so they could show their true colors to their partners. And now you see 2024 is looking totally in tatters.
Sir, Kamalnath has been, what I should say, he is the presiding deity of Congress in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the whole thing has been handed over to him because he has opened the purse. All the Dhanrashi is with him. For Congress expense he is actually DKS of Karnataka.
Now, but what happened to Diggi, sir? Diggi Raja?
Sir, Diggi Raja and Kamalnath have a they have a, what is called, they are friends as well as enemies. What you call frenemies.
Frenemies.
And but this is not new. They have been there together. I mean, beach mein they do talk each other. So they keep doing this. So this time, sir, for a particular constituency, which I recall, that there was one particular candidate called a two-time MLA called Virendra Raghuvanshi, and he was looking for a ticket from a place where Digvijay's son exercises a lot of influence, who is also contesting election. This time, Digvijay's son, Digvijay's nephew is contesting elections, and Raghopur, that is. Now, the Virendra, Raghuvanshi did not get the ticket, and that was for a constituency in Shivpuri. And Digvijay and his family have had a lot of say in number of places. And Kamalnath has not interfered with that. And people recall when Digvijay was chief minister and Kamalnath had a role in helping Digvijay become chief minister, Digvijay used to joke, look, I am chief minister for all the districts excepting Chhindwara, which is with Kamalnath. He is the chief minister of Chhindwara. So they used to have a hot, blow, cold kind of relationship. And this time, when this Raghuvanshi did not get, and he created a fracas outside Kamalnath's, where Kamalnath was appearing. So Kamalnath told him in full glare of the TV cameras that, look, why are you coming to me? If you have been denied, I wanted you to get the ticket. If you have been denied ticket, आप जाके दिग्विजय का कपड़ा फाड़ो. I mean, because he is responsible. He and his son, they are deciding everything of certain districts, certain pockets. So why are you coming to me? आप मेरे पास क्यों रोने को आ रहे हो? वहां जाके करो. Now, this thing, when it went viral, this video, all the televisions picked it up, channels picked it up, and subsequent day there was this release of the Congress manifesto, and when Kamalnath was saying, look, you are all in all Sarvesha in deciding candidate list and all. Now, Digvijay took that opportunity to tell Kamalnath, look, if you think I am responsible, but who signed in the Form A and Form B for the officially declared candidate? It was you, PCC chief. So, kapda kiska phandna hai? I mean, you have, I mean, this banter went on in full view when they were releasing the Congress manifesto. Now, किसका कपड़ा फाड़ रहा है? आप ही ने तो साइन किया है as PCC chief. I mean, telling Kamalnath that you are the one who has signed these lists and signed the forms for the officially declared candidates. Acha, this kapda fad, sir, this is also a very interesting thing because uh, there have been occasions where disgruntled party men who have not got tickets, they have attacked the functionaries of the Congress. It has happened before. I mean, even in BJP also, where the official candidates, once the official candidate list was announced, particularly in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, somewhere there has been protest. The same thing has happened here. But Kamalnath, he is known to speak in this style, like kapda phar do, ek thappad maar do types. So this is a kind of a thing which goes to show that Congress is now facing a lot of problem in Madhya Pradesh after the announcement of lists, and there are complaints of allegations of favoritism, nepotism, and one more thing, sir. Just as Digvijay is seen as promoting his son, and similarly, people are that is. People are saying similarly, Kamalnath is more or less promoting his son Nakul Nath. And Nakul Nath is a Lok Sabha MP from Chindwara. So the complaints of other leaders is, look, the Digvijay and Kamalnath are between them, they have distributed ticket, they have taken care of their family interest, etc., etc. So therefore, there is a lot of resentment among Congress leaders as to how the list has been distributed. And of course, the whole campaign, Rahul Gandhi is not bothered by all this. Rahul Gandhi, they are both the brother sister duo, Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, they are focusing on those promises, and which they say these promises have helped Congress before. Promising so many things for school children, for women at home, for unemployment allowance. The same formula, a degree holder will get money for at least 2 years, then for diploma holders. So at this rate, people will not even feel like looking for a job. If they want to live in a minimalistic style, they probably can manage, do some petty work and take this unemployment dole. But these promises, sir, which Sonia Gandhi included, the younger Gandhis, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, they think they have got the key to win the elections. With this key, they can register a mark in these elections, and also plan similar thing for Lok Sabha elections of 2024. So that is what has happened, and it is also coming clear somewhere along this the so-called banter between Digvijay Singh and Kamalnath. It is also showing that election time, these leaders are not able to suppress their rivalry within among themselves and the rivalry that is there with other state leaders. So these all could have, some impact on how the Madhya Pradesh elections will be fought by the Congress leaders, those who have got the ticket, and what about those who did not get the ticket? Some of them may contest as independents, and many times The independents have won and then joined the party back as official
with
candidates.
their head held high.
Yes. And sometimes welcomed by the parent party also. आपने अच्छा किया. As if the prodigal son has
You
returned home.
proved yourself. You proved yourself. Shekharji, the BJP also has been doing a lot of optics, in my opinion, sir. I could be wrong. One is one saw Shivraj Singh Chauhan having a sickle, and he comes out of the plane and he has it ready like a gada. He's not donkey, guys. I'm talking about mace, MACE. Please don't misunderstand me. He has that. He steps out of the plane with that, and that is one optic. A few months ago, we saw him washing the feet of a Dalit, I think. And so BJP also is indulging in
Tribal.
optics like
Tribal.
this. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
tribal. Okay, tribal,
Yes.
tribal.
Digvijay, I mean, Shivraj Singh Chauhan was seen as doing it to washing the feet of a tribal on whose face a BJP functionary's close aide was involved in, was supposed to have urinated on him. And finally, that guy was caught and arrested. And then, as a kind of an atonement to the what has happened, Shivraj Singh Chauhan conducted a Pada Puja for the tribal to send a message. Look, as a party, as a leader of this party, we do not support this kind of horrible conduct. So that is how that was there. Sir, in Madhya Pradesh, what we are seeing, we just discussed about Madhya Pradesh and how as the lists come and the problems of dissension and things like that. Now, similarly in Madhya Pradesh, where BJP has changed the candidates, they have asked MPs to contest. There are problems, and Amit Shah has been talking to those leaders who have turned, to be dissidents. Anyway, the idea is to see that they don't contest elections. Actually, there is a team at work and persuade them. Look, please allow, because we have carefully considered everything, and that is why we have agreed to go with the recommendations of the state election committees as well as central election committee and some of the survey reports. We are trying to strike at an optimum selection. So that is there. But it is Rajasthan that is very interesting after the promise of a
Sir,
great
one last
overhaul.
question, sir. One last question before we move on to Rajasthan. Shekharji, one question is BJP needs to counter this Revdi culture effectively. I mean, they can say, look, these guys are only promising, we are already delivering, which is that 80 crore people are getting free rations, and that is still continuing, even though it was only for the COVID time period. And I don't know if the rations are still arriving at people's houses or if they have to go to a place to collect it. I don't know that latest information. So they are promising, we are delivering. Is there any kind of a messaging that the BJP is trying, sir?
So definitely they are giving, they are saying what all they have, the concrete steps that the BJP has taken, the Prime Minister has taken to see that the overall welfare of the poor farmers, the poor people who are in the unorganized sector, how their lives have changed over the years by various schemes of the government. That attempt has been going on in a very big way. And, showing the case studies, even showcasing the beneficiaries who have benefited from such schemes. But at the same time, there is a pressure building up in the BJP. Look, with this kind of promises where cash is announced, we will have to have some alternative all black plan. That is why the BJP manifesto may itself may be very interesting, because there is a tremendous resistance from the party leaders to the Prime Minister's suggestion. Look, let's not fall into this trap. We will do what is right. We have held forth on this through the second wave of COVID. Now, for the sake of winning elections, you end up doing some, tamasha. And then what happens if we come? We come back, because BJP's estimation is they will come back in many of these states that are going to polls. But how do we manage the economy of the state government? Because once you have made the promise, at that and some of them use numbers. Like for instance, sir, I am told the BJP's counter strategy is also to tune the national pension scheme, the rather the new pension scheme, where previously there was a lot of disgruntled pensioners who felt that it has been very arbitrarily done and there is a problem. And Now that things have changed, so what do we do? So taking that into account, well, BJP is also working on its manifesto, and which it has to match. Despite Prime Minister's yes, look, there won't be any blanket kind of offering this and that. That's not the way we'll go about. But some subtle messaging is required to show, look, the same things which we have granted through various other schemes, which the Congress is promised to give or promised to extend. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let us take a look at Rajasthan. And also, viewers, I want to tell you a senior Tamil Nadu BJP leader has been arrested, Amar Prasad Reddy. And the DMK government has pulled down the BJP's party flag that was hoisted right in front of Annamalai's house, saying that it was encroaching. Now, people are saying that it was not encroaching, and that they are also saying just a few yards away, there's an even bigger lamp post with flag post with the DMK flag much higher, and that definitely is encroaching. So you have all these optics going on. I don't know why Amar Prasad has been arrested, for what reason. I'm sure he may have made some statement and they would have taken offense to it. So DMK is adopting a scorched earth policy, and they are thinking that by doing this that they can control BJP. They are rattled from the support that BJP is getting in what has been traditionally ADMK area, which is Kongunadu, Coimbatore, Tirupur, all the areas around it. He has not even gone to Salem and Erode yet, and that would be also more. So my question, sir, is why is DMK indulging in this kind of thing? They don't even want to allow BJP to put up their flag, sir.
So somewhere along they have been rattled by the Annamalai's Padayatra. I mean, though they say they are so strong, BJP will not do well at all in the parliamentary elections and things like that. Somehow the traction that Annamalai has received, the course of his yatra, small crowds compared to what other BJP leaders would have gathered or what other ADMK leaders have gathered, but definitely he is the first of the BJP leader to get that kind of response, rural response, and that is why it has been taken noticed by both Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi, who want Annamalai to continue the work. Now that ADMK has broken away and gone, ADMK has bid goodbye and gone away. But the message is, look, party has to grow in Tamil Nadu, and that is only possible by direct people's contact. We will contact those voters out there, explain to them what the BJP stands for, what is the Prime Minister's plan for modernizing India, how are the jobs going to be created, things like that, the basic questions that people want to know. Now, at the same time, what is happening is, that is the Tamil Nadu situation, and Tamil Nadu is at the moment zero. Is the value of the BJP strength in Tamil Nadu. Though they may get some votes, but still they are not in a position to cause any upsets, either to ADMK or to DMK alliance partners. That's not it's going to happen now. But the talking points have increased, and those talking points about Annamalai's yatra, they are a pointer to, and the responses also are a pointer to a feeling that probably the media in Tamil Nadu is not giving enough space to the BJP, number one. Number two, there are many people in Tamil Nadu who want to understand BJP as to what it is, what are its program, what is this nation first concept. They want to understand. So therefore, I think the fact that some people want to make it very clear that this relationship between various communities, no matter what the political issue is or the whatever the conflict is, some kind of a decency has to be maintained. Parties will have to follow that. So that is why we are seeing that in Tamil Nadu particularly. Now ADMK is now after leaving the BJP, openly talking of wooing Muslim voters. I mean, it has been talking of promises again. We'll do this, we'll do that. And some of it is covered in the central government schemes also. You have to just pick and rename your own scheme. So that is there. Now, that apart, the battle is about these states that are going to the polls, the assembly elections. And in Rajasthan, what we saw was initially BJP came with some bold moves because he dropped a lot of sitting MLAs. The first list was announced, and that created a lot of furor. Now I understand some kind of patchwork has been effected. Patchwork in the sense they have been told, the warring leaders have been told, look, we are not following anybody, we are not favoring anybody. We want to we want to purely go by the selections that have been proposed by the selection committee, which has done its analysis, got the survey reports done. There is no particular favorite for us. That is the message from the BJP to these campaign managers out in each constituency. But at the same time, nothing is going to happen immediately. Well, in Tamil Nadu, I think the BJP has realized that its men should be put to better use in neighboring Telangana or somewhere because of positive time. So these are what is happening as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, if you don't mind, sir, we'll take a few questions, and we have fair amount of questions. So let's go through them. Can we have the questions, please? Yes, we did. We did cover Rajasthan. One question, sir. You said that Vasundhara Raje has got all the seats. Her group also has been accommodated. Are they getting the same constituencies that they wanted, or is it different constituencies?
Some people have been offered different constituencies. Like, for instance, former Vice President Byron Singh Shekhawat's son-in-law. He has been now on. He has been offered another constituency which he should not have a problem. That is Chittorgarh constituency compared to his previous constituency. So, but many of them have been asked to shift to constituencies where the BJP central leadership feels the chances of their winning are better. But at the same time, within one stroke, after the first list was released, when none of the neither Vasundhara Raje's name figured, and nor any of her so-called loyalists, there was a lot of tension in the BJP in Rajasthan. But after seeing the list today, I get the feeling that, look, the BJP central leadership, both Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah, have realized now that the battle between Congress and BJP is showing signs of emerging as rather advantageous for the BJP. They have decided at the moment we'll drop this battle. This strategy of trying to find younger leadership to push. That's why you are some MPs were named initially, but rest are all these MLAs who are sitting MLAs. They have been named. So that goes to show that when it comes to uh, winning the election is more important than bringing some changes now. And even Vasundhara Raje will be contesting from her own old constituency, that is Jalarpatan. So she'll be contesting from there. And so the second list of about 83 names has more or less taken into account some of the disappointments that many aspirants felt in the first list.
Thank you, sir. Let's wait and see how this plays out. But in your opinion, has the needle swung in favor of BJP in Madhya Pradesh, sir?
So definitely the fight has become more tighter, rather more close than previously. It was earlier thought that looks like BJP may not do well at all because of a fatigue factor associated with Shivraj Singh Chauhan himself as well as his government. And it has been for 20 years he has been CM. By the time the elections are held, so therefore it was felt that this is going to be a quiet and a upstream effort. Otherwise, but the selection of candidates by BJP and some strategies worked out concerning some candidates and some constituencies has given a new mood of confidence for the BJP leaders. Look, that Madhya Pradesh will be a hotly contested election.
And viewers, I will bring you with 𝗼𝚻 Sriram projections on Telangana and Chhattisgarh, as well as in Mizoram. That we will do it in the next few days. Sriram is traveling and he's gathering the data, so we will do that. Just wanted to let you know that yes, we are covering all the states and the projections. So do come back and look for us when we do that. Magnet Ranga wants to know, these are the questions, sir. Namaskaram. With the conflict in Israel, the issue with Canada seems off radar, but hasn't Trudeau mindless statement again brought it back into focus? Any solution in sight?
Well, sir, this Canada problem, he's trying to invoke, invoke the support of other allies, Western allies. But at the moment, nobody is interested in, whether it is Nijar killings matter. No further evidence has been provided to India, or further things have been stated, or any arrest made. That has not happened. But definitely, what we are saying is, Trudeau seems to be sort of, a loss game. It's a loss for Canada, because instead of, taking advantage of the growth story of India, instead of having more bilateral agreements, and Canada and India have not had very difficult relationship. Of course, when India carried out its second nuclear test, when Vajpayee came to power in 1998, and those were the times when India, Canada even imposed sanctions on India, saying that it will never support nuclear proliferation. So that from that stage, there were a lot of cooperations, trade pacts possible between India and Canada. But Canada allowed itself, for reasons of domestic politics, particularly this government headed by Trudeau. And what we are seeing is, they have allowed more, trying to make political statements in support of certain causes, which is actually hurting their bilateral relationship. And that is why, now that today, even Canadian diplomats have been told to leave, government has even made it very clear why it had to make them leave, though it has not mentioned specifically who did what.
Sir, before we go to the next question, I want to thank the Sengol Art Academy for sending me the Sengol, a copy of the miniature of what is presented in the parliament. It's a beautifully sculpted piece. I have the Nandi on top. I don't know how many of you can see it. I think I can show it to you now. You can see the
Yes.
Nandi. And in fact, the features are very, very intricate. And there is a reading here in Tamil. I can't read it. It's too small for me to read. But you can also see, I don't know if you can see this. There are two flags. You can see the flags, India's flags. And then there is the Dharma Chakra. The chakra you can see, right? Chakra is
Yes.
there. This is the chakra. And then we'll also, we'll post, we'll put a picture in the community post. So it's, I thank you so much, Kumar Bala, the man who actually sent it to me. And I will cherish this. It's a very symbolic gesture. He said that this is the least we can do to you for all the service that you are rendering. And I'm truly humbled. So I just wanted to mention that. Let's take the next question, please. Thank you once again, Singol Art. Partha wants to know, is BJP in Maharashtra serious about inquiring into untimely passing of SSR and Disha, or is it just drama for elections?
Well, Parthaji, when Devendra Fadnavis returned as deputy CM with the control of police, he had observed that, look, we are not going to tell the Mumbai police to follow a particular line of investigation, but we want a clear investigation, because the family had sought even a CBI inquiry, and therefore we will see that there is no hurdles the way of a proper investigation into these incidents, which the family feels probably it is a killing, and there are others who believe probably it was a suicide due to mental depression. But the fact remains is, after Devendra Fadnavis has come, after the collapse of the MVA government and coming of things, succeeded by the your Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis government, I think the efforts are to see that, to get down to the facts, and police have been told to go ahead with the investigation and come with some kind of a conclusion as to what had happened to him and who is behind it.
Many of you may have read this book of mine, Who Killed SSR. It's a fictional version of what happened. At the same time, it covers a lot of the intricacies of what really played out. And if you read that thing, you'll get a lot of information that has not been, connected in terms of what the police is doing. CBI inquiry has started, but how long does it take? This is not that long. This is an open and closed book, open and shut case. And you read the book, you'll understand where the emphasis has to be for the investigation. I don't know if that is being done or not. Look, these guys are, for me, BJP, anybody, I don't really have a lot of trust in them following through on some of these things where they take something and go to the end. So there's the book, A Genius Suffed by Greed, Jealousy, and Deception. So this is my new series called Mystery. I have another series called Money. I've published 4 books thus far on that. So this is basically about what played around in a typical actor whose name is Sandeep Singh Rajput. So I didn't want to take the real names, mainly because I don't want any, it's a book of fiction. It's up to you as to whether you think that what is mentioned in the book is true or false. It's completely up to you. If you think it is true, that's an amazing coincidence. That's all I can say. Next one. Chaitanya Takle wants to know, any chances of strengthening of Indian passport in terms of visa on arrival countries?
Sir, at the moment, I think the government is working out wherever possible, where there is some kind of a mutual reciprocity, in the sense that we can offer those countries, their citizens, visa on arrival. Several countries, in fact, the list has been expanding considerably. So definitely there are countries with which we have already had these facilities. We are opening up these facilities, but there are also countries with which we cannot easily enter into an agreement because of the sensitive nature of some of the people trying to come, and also the kind of intelligence reports that are being received by the government of India from its sources. So those are the factors which is delaying in some cases. So
next question, please. Aditya Prakash wants to know, sir, do you have info if political interference starts from after Jagmeet Singh took power, or was it much longer? This is Canada.
Yeah, I can understand. Sir, ever since I think the role of these Canadians came under scanner, particularly during this Aam Aadmi Party winning the Punjab elections, the assembly elections in 2022. That's a time when the focus came, and also during the farmers' agitation, it was felt where the Canadian diplomats were actively, of course, they were filing reports of the ground situation, but some of them were interacting with these people who knew these agitating leaders or facilitated interviews with them or whatever.
Next one, please. Also on Canada. What if Srinivas Do wants to know, what if Canada removes more than 41 diplomats and asks India for parity?
Well, right now, what we have sought is parity. So, if Canada wants to further reduce, is willing to reduce further its numbers, I don't think Prime Minister Modi is going to anyway say he's not going to go back on the decision, because this decision has been taken with sending a very, very clear message to Canadian government. Look, there shall be no compromise when it comes to terrorism. And if you are seen as encouraging or engaging some of the characters who are seen as, basically criminals, and basically it's a criminal list that India had sought, their arrest. And some of the requests were routed through Interpol. But the Canada government did not act on them, saying that, look, this is a free country. It's with free expression. Trying to look askance at the activities of these people from places of worship in Canada. Sir.
India has 21 diplomats in Canada, where there were 62 in this country before the departure of 41 who were withdrawn. So now 21 each. So that's where things stand. We'll wait and see how it goes. Next one, please. ARs wants to know, will the dot alliance survive? What will be the effect of Moitra saga on the alliance as many names have tumbled?
Sir, first of all, as far as Mahua Maitra is concerned, we are seeing that Trinamool Congress leader, Mamata Banerjee, has told her party leaders there was no need to defend Mahua Maitra in this case. Mahua Maitra has to answer herself. She can only answer those questions that are being put to her. So therefore, there is no need for us to say anything. Now, this is a very, very strong message that Mamata has given, making it clear she and her party is washing hands off Mahua Maitra. And Mahua Maitra, as I told earlier, doesn't have a good relation with Mamata, and particularly with her nephew Abhishek Banerjee. So you can see that Mahua Maitra finds herself quite in a lonely spot as far as the party is concerned. Now, as to the alliance issue, now we are seeing the drama that has unfolded with Akhilesh Yadav openly attacking Congress for a lack of an agreement on Madhya Pradesh elections. Right from Mulayam Singh's days, Samajwadi has been putting up candidates in different states elections because for the national party status, you need to have votes in different states. So that is the reason why they were keen to put candidate. Now, the way Kamalnath dismissed Akhilesh, and Akhilesh in turn, reacting very strongly to Congress' refusal to even give 6 seats which it had promised to SP, things have got very serious. And the question is what happens in the parliamentary elections? Because Akhilesh Yadav has been saying right from beginning, no need of any alliance here. We will decide if we have to give seats to any party, we will decide. No
Next
need
one,
for a
please. Yeah.
no
Sorry,
need
sir.
for
Sorry. Go
any
ahead. Yeah.
no need for any such thing. And the question that Akhilesh put said, what is this alliance? Are we because they have been avoiding discussion on seat adjustment, even for Lok Sabha, saying we'll see it later. But now the fundamental question that Akhilesh has posed is, does this alliance mean some kind of arrangements or a seats arrangements right from the state elections to parliamentary elections? To which the Congress answer is, from Kamalnath at least, is this is all about, you know, at the national election, not for state election. And no need to bother about Akhilesh Vakhilesh, quote
Akhilesh
unquote.
Vakhilesh. Narayan wants to know, sir, don't you think that due to Congress freebies culture, BJP would promise something outrageous which may harm the states?
So that is not something the Prime Minister would let his party do it, though he is under pressure to see that some schemes are announced on the basis of past experiences and all this while projecting what the BJP has done for the poor, what are its plans. But at the same time, the pressure is too much because you have to match it in some way. Otherwise, you could see a repeat of Karnataka or say Himachal.
Next one, please. Teja Mysore wants to know, there is a new sea voter survey saying Congress is number one in Telangana. How true is this based on ground reality? How did Congress make this comeback and how did BJP lose its momentum?
Well, sir, BJP seemed to have lost its momentum. Even I'm going by the admission of even BJP leaders that ever since they replaced Bandi Sanjay Kumar with this Kishan Reddy, I think the message went down the line to the party rank and file that BJP is diluting its fight because Pandit Sanjay Kumar was seen as a real fighter on the ground who had brought the party to the current level. But somehow the whole problem was they needed to balance out various factions in the BJP, and that is how, because they had also taken people who had come from KCR's party,
Itala
like
Rajender.
Stella Rajendra and his supporters. So the kind of leadership that Bandi Sanjay Kumar provided, that has not been possible with G. Kishan Reddy, who people already knew that Kishan Reddy will not be, in a position to do that. So that was some kind of a setback, which the BJP seems to have done, leadership seems to have done it. And the whole question is, Is BJP trying to help KCR to prevent return of the Congress? These are questions people are asking.
Next question, please. Aditya Prakash wants to know, sir, what is NDA strategy for female voters in 2024?
Well, they intend to, see that is the Prime Minister's intention, is to see that a number of women candidates make it to the list, and the list should appear to be unprecedented even before the women reservation laws are, implemented, and that may not be possible before, say, 2029 Lok Sabha elections, but at least the Assembly elections starting from, say, 2026 or 2027. Modi is very keen that the quota is provided. So therefore, women voters will remain on the top. First, encourage the women rank and file within the party, and at the same time, the party has been told, the members of parliament have been told to reach out to the masses, explain the government policies, the changes that were made in relation to, you know, uh, children's health as well as health of women who are pregnant women or women who are delivering child, kind of hospital facilities that are there, enhancement of some of these facilities. These have been constantly highlighted by the Prime Minister himself and also being conveyed through the party leaders at several meetings in these elect-bound states.
Next question, please. ZZZ wants to know, can BJP win in Tamil Nadu and Telangana? Probabilities, please.
Sir, Telangana looks difficult at the moment because from being, the most fancied at one stage to the position that the BJP has reached in Telangana, that it looks like it's very difficult. Now, of course, Congress feels very, very, full of buoyance, which it feels that there is real revival of the Congress in Telangana because people are fed up with KCR's rule and KCR's rule rather. But I get to hear is the fight is getting very, very tough. Even the Congress feels that whatever promises you make, KCR has already tried out the freebies because he implemented freebies over a long period and targeting Dalit voters, targeting OBC voters, and things like that. So, therefore, the question as to what will be the BJP's position in Telangana is the whole effort will be to see that it wins as many number of seats as possible and looks like a decent opposition in the state. And as far as KCR, maybe he will lose the number of seats, but he could still retain power. That is my kind of understanding of the situation in Chhattisgarh. In Telangana.
The best case scenario for Telangana for BJP was 30 seats, I believe. So we'll have to see whether it comes to that number or is it 10 or 2 or 1. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Next one, please. Dustbin through backdoor. Shekhar ji, what are the irremovables we import from Canada other than some pulses? Do we import any high-tech item from there?
So there were earlier agreements relating to development of rolling stock for our railways. Bombardier is a Canadian company that had initially provided uh, coaches for our metro services, but since then they have been manufactured locally. So that is there. Of course, pulses is a major import, no doubt about it. But then there are several sources of pulses. Now, it is equally important for Canada to realize that it needs to, ensure that the relationship with Indian government is better than before because India is now a land where trade opportunities are opening up. Canada should also, seek to get its share of the business and business deals. But to get into this kind of wokeism in politics, international diplomacy, that's what Trudeau is trying to please his left center liberal, so-called liberal constituencies. I think that is not going to help Canada in the long run because India may be able to look for other sources of the kind of technology or whatever it was looking from Canada. But Canada should not miss out on India's growth story. That is something that Canadians must realize.
Next one, please. Thought provocative. Thank you so much. Will the government be able to look beyond perpetual election mode post 2024 elections if BJP returns to center to address serious international issues?
Oh, definitely. I mean, definitely. Of course, even now, I don't think the assembly elections are anyway stopping the BJP leadership or the government of India getting a reality check on the situation caused by the Hamas attack on Israel and subsequent siege of the Gaza Strip. So these are issues that are being constantly evaluated, and so the BJP is already confident. Rather, the Prime Minister is confident that he is going to get a third mandate, and he has a huge task in front of him to complete some of the pending projects, initiate new ones, and also look at the experience that have been gained in the first 20 years of BJP rule in India.
Next
I
one,
mean,
please.
the first, what I mean is the 10 years, and the previously they had done 16 years. So 16 years of BJP rule and the growth of the BJP in India.
True, true. Next one, please. Thank you, Pawan Kishore. Namaskaram, sir. Will there be a possibility of a third front given the difference showing up in India alliance?
Sir, whether there is one alliance or there is a multi alliances, rather multi alliance fronts, what is to be seen is the India alliance started off in a great way with a Patna meeting, then there was a meeting in Bangalore, then Mumbai. By the time they came down to Delhi to a meeting of only the committee without the participation of senior leaders, we suddenly saw the enthusiasm sink. And these statements coming out like Akhilesh Yadav and others have not helped the India alliance. Somehow it looks like even if finally India alliance contests a number of seats, in terms of results, we should all brace up for a shock, because the opposition has not been able to put the house in order. And I mean, that is coming out very clear. They have been postponing discussing issues in the hope that these could all be taken up, closer to the elections. Leadership, what kind of manifesto we should have, what ideas to emphasize, what ideas to give priority. So far, the party has not been talking about, I mean, all these opposition parties have not been talking about what is the alternative that they propose. They have all been looking at, look, somehow, pull down whatever the government of India is doing or some things like that.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, people of Karnataka are upset with Congress. Freebies are not as promised. Why isn't BJP making an issue in the state, going for elections and not taking advantage in Karnataka?
Well, in the state, they have started making it an issue on a range of issues, saying that what the BJP had promised in Karnataka, and this is the reality of Karnataka today. And also, they are also, I mean, trying to tell people, look, in Karnataka, so many things were promised, and the implementation has deeply affected the Karnataka's financial budget. So similar thing is in store in other, opposition ruled states, because opposition parties are looking at this Revdi culture as some kind of a panacea for winning any election anywhere. Well, that should not be an objective when you have to consider that freebies on a long term, or at least during elections, may give you some kind of a turbo charge to your campaign, but overall it's a harmful to politics.
Next question, please. Santosh Sivan wants to know, Jai Shri Ram, why didn't central government take any action on Maulana Muhammad Rizwan for his tweet on Gaza?
Sir, whole idea is, there have been some sporadic incidents of attempting to protest for the Palestinians, and thereby even try to show that they are not condoning Hamas terrorist attack. But I think the instruction has gone out from state governments, other two state governments, and from state governments to different authorities, which is what, look, this is going to be a very, very difficult phase for all of us. Not just this election, but in the run up to the parliamentary elections also. One has to be very one has to be very careful with the way we handle sensitive issues which have some communal overtones. But at the same time, India cannot be a party to any arrangement or any kind of thing where we appear to be condoning the terrorist strikes in Israel. That simply is not acceptable.
Next one, please. Kaun hu main? Thank you so much. What will it take to get clear majority in Rajya Sabha? It is super critical to get some difficult bills to be passed. How can we help with that?
Well, sir, as BJP wins assembly elections, and whenever vacancies have arisen in those states where elections have been held and BJP has added to its numerical strength, definitely we have seen that in those states, BJP has been able to increase its number, particularly to the upper house. But generally today the advantage is such, the position in the Rajya Sabha is such, it is quite a tight situation. So the consequences are also many for both the parties. If they make one single wrong step, the votes could change. But when it comes to Palestine issue, India has made it very clear that there is no change in the policy. Some people are saying the Prime Minister two tweets. One, condemning the Hamas attack on Israel. Second is, after his talking to Prime Minister Netanyahu as to how the Israel is coping up with this new crisis thrown by the Hamas attack, where again the Prime Minister has responded in a very, very sensitive way. And thirdly, when the bombing of that hospital was done in Gaza Strip, the Prime Minister came out with a tweet saying that, look, we condemn the attack which has affected so many children, so many women, and so many elderly patients. Prime Minister said we want the guilty to be punished. Now this was interpreted as supporting Hamas, opposing Hamas and giving blanket support to Israel. No, that's not the line. Our line is very clear. There has to be a negotiated solution to the Palestinian problem, and that is only possible if you respect the rights of the people, particularly whether Palestinian people or Jews in Israel. At both the states, the two-state formula, an independent Palestine and also an independent Israel, whose borders are secure, whose citizens are not put to harm. This is the kind of model that will be able to ultimately work towards peace in that region. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And with that, we bring to a close today's session. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.